Zostrianos sees all the self-generated aeons. Indeed, I was immersed 5 times by Audiel and I, Samuel, the guardians of the great Yesius, Mazarius, Yesidicius, the one from Bits Missing, that one and Bits Missing, perfect Bits Missing, and the great virginal glory, the all-glorious one, she of the great divine male gender, the mother who revealed all the doubly perfect aeons, even the one belonging to the all-male species, the ruler of the glory, the mother of the glories, Uriel, and the 4 luminaries of the male mind, Protophanus, Selman, and the one with him, the god revealers, Zakathos and Yakathos, Cepheus and Anaphantes, Seldal and Elenos. Bits missing. There are in each of the aeons a living earth and a living water, air made of light, and a blazing fire that does not consume, and living animals, and trees, souls and minds, and human beings, and all those who dwell with them, gods or powers, or even angels, for all these, bits missing, and those who come forth through the self-generated one, and I was shaped by them, and the aeons of the self-generated one opened, a great light came forth upon me from the perfect male aeons, and they were glorified. The 4 aeons were spread out with a single aeon, in the form of a single aeon, existing alone. Zostrianos approaches the aeon of Protophanus. Epipsychiac departs, and Zostrianos sees the light, crown, and seals. The epipsychiac, the child of the child, brought me. Bits missing. More bits missing. There stood Yesius, Mazarius, Yesidicius, together with those who give the crown of light, with seals upon it, namely Gamiel and Gabriel, who are under the great luminaries. And there were seals of 4 kinds. The revelation of Uriel. Uriel appears. There came before me the glorious male and virginal Uriel. I wondered about the crowns, and she said to me, "Why does your spirit wonder about the crowns and the seals on them? They are the crowns that empower every spirit and every soul, and the seals that are upon them are of 3 kinds, and belong to the invisible spirit." It's missing. And the seals of these kinds are those belonging to the self-generated one, and Protophanus, and Calyptos. The invisible spirit is a psychic and intellectual power, a knower and a foreknower. Therefore he is mediated by Gabriel, the spirit giver, so that when he gives a Holy Spirit, he might seal one with the crown and crown him as though he has gods and bits missing. The perfect individuals. The individuals are spirits that exist and know Him in order that they may become perfect. They exist by themselves and they are not intermingled in order that they may become simple and might not be replicated in any respect. These are the simple, perfect individuals. The all-perfect who are unified. The all and all these, the aeons of aeons, complete Him, as well as all those who are collectively all perfect. It takes great effort to see them, for the invisible, Protofanus, the great male mind, bits missing, perfect, bits missing, in the existence, bits missing, every power, bits missing, truly exist. For it was a great thing for all those who hear Him openly, and they were existing in thought and forethought, since it is powerful and perfect. But it is fitting for you to preach about everything here, and about the things you will hear through a thought of those higher than perfect, the things you will recognize with a soul of the perfect ones. Uel baptizes Zostrianos in living water. When she had said these things, she baptized me in living water, bits missing, of the great male, invisible, perfect mind, Protofanus, Armadon, bits missing, the first, bits missing. I received power from her, and she appeared to me, and I received form and semblance. I received a light that was beyond my calculation, and I received a Holy Spirit. I became truly existing. Zostrianos sees the triple male child. Then she brought me into the great Aeon, where the perfect triple male is. I saw the invisible child with an invisible light. Uel administers Zostrianos' last baptism. Then she baptized me again in living water, bits missing. I was able to see in the presence of the great and perfect self-generated ones. And Uel, the all-glorious one, said to me, "You have received all the baptisms in which it is fitting to be baptized, and you have become perfect for the hearing of all these matters. Therefore, call now upon Salamex and Seaman and the all-perfect army, the luminaries of the Barbello Amen, the immeasurable knowledge. They will reveal to you those of the invisible, great perfect male, Protofanus, and the unengendered Calyptos. And then they will teach you about the virginal Barbello Aeon and the invisible triple-powered spirit." Zostrianos invokes the luminaries of the Barbello Aeon. When the all-glorious Uel had said this to me, she set me down and went and stood before Protofanus. Then I stood at rest upon my spirit, praying fervently to the great luminaries by thought. I was calling upon Salamex and Seaman, and the all-perfect Ameh. Zostrianos is anointed, enters the Aeon of Protofanus, and is crowned. The revelation of the luminaries of Barbelo, Aeon, Part 1. And I saw glories greater than powers, and they anointed me. I was capable, and I, bits missing, in this one, bits missing, and then the all-perfect male, virginal Uel, departed, having covered them all. And I saw Salamex and Seaman, those who revealed everything to me, saying, Zostrianos, hear about the things you sought. He was a unity, and a single one, existing prior to all those that truly exist, an immeasurable spirit, completely indiscernible by anything else that exists in him and outside him, and remains after him. It is he alone who delimits himself, partless, shapeless, qualityless, colourless, specialless, formless, to them all. He precedes them all. He is pre-principle of every principle, forethought of every thought, strength of every power. He is faster than his motion. He is more stable than stability. He surpasses compaction, as well as rarefaction. And he is farther than any unfathomableness. And he is more definite than any corporal entity. He is purer than any incorporeal entity. He is far more penetrating than any thought and any body. Being more powerful than them all, any genus or species, he is their totality, the whole of true existence, and those who truly exist. He is all these, for he is greater than the whole, corporal and incorporeal alike. He is more particular than all the parts, existing by a pure, unknowable power. He from whom derive all those that truly exist, that derive from the truly existent spirit, the sole one. The three powers of the spirit, for they are triple powers of his unity, complete existence, life and blessedness. In existence, he exists as a simple unity, his own rational expression and idea. Whomever he will find, he brings into being, and in vitality, he is alive, and becomes, in blessedness, he comes to have mentality. And he knows that all these become uniquely him. For a divinity is unconcerned with anything except what is his alone, and he is a unity within himself and by himself, the single perfect spirit. For he dwells within that which is his, which exists as an idea of an idea, a unity of the hammadi. He exists as the spirit, inhabiting it by intellect, and it inhabits him. He is not about to come forth to any place, because he is a single perfect, simple spirit. He is his own place, and he is its inhabitant. Indeed, he is everything. And on the other hand, there is the one who comes to be in mentality and life, even his inhabitant. And the life is an activity of the insubstantial existence, that which exists in them, exist in him, and because of him, they exist as blessedness and perfection. And life is the power that exists in all those that truly exist. Implications for salvation. Blessed is the idea of the activity that exists. By receiving existence, it receives potential for perfection. Since it never divides, it is then perfect. Therefore, it is perfect because it is not divisible with itself. For nothing exists before it, except the perfect unity that is its existence. Since it is salvation for the wholes, and he of whom it is not even possible or fitting to speak, if one affirms him for himself, all such things will come to pass. For he who abides in the existence of this one exists in every way in life. By blessedness he knows, and if he participates in the wholes, he is perfect. But if he participates in two or one, he is of the sort that he has merely participated. For this reason, there are those with soul and those without soul. For this reason, those who will be saved. For this reason, those who will perish, if they had no share in him. For this reason, there is matter and bodies. For this reason, there is a desirable incorporeality. Therefore, they are derivatives of a whole. For all these reasons, it is he who pre-exists and is pure, since he is a simple unity, a single unnameable spirit. Even his own existence, idea and being, both in accord with the activity that is his life, and in accord with the perfection that is luminous, intellectual power. And the three stand together, moving together. The attributes of the Spirit. It is everywhere and nowhere, that he empowers and activates them all. The ineffable, unnameable one. It is from himself that he truly exists, resting himself in his perfection, has not shared in any form. Therefore, he is invisible to them all. He has taken no pattern for himself, nor is he anything at all of those that exist among the perfect ones and those that are unified. The one belonging to the all exists in existence, and he dwells in the vitality of life, and in perfection and mentality and blessedness. All these were existing in the indivisibility of the Spirit, and it is mentality on account of which is divinity and insubstantiality and blessedness and life and mentality and goodness. And he is ahened with unity and absolutely all things. The unengendered purity, thanks to whom they pre-exist. All these, as well as the bits missing. The emergence of the Barbelo Aeon from the triple-powered spirit. The Barbelo Aeon appears. Bits missing. His bits missing. Within the bits missing. Like a fragrance, it reaches the light anterior to their aeon. It is a power that inhabits a part of the unengenderedness, for it always exists. It sought after him, seeing him there, and existing as a simple unity. Since he is blessedness in perfection, he was a perfect and blessed unity. She lacks his unity because she lacked him, since he would supplement her with knowledge, and his knowledge dwells outside of him, with that which contemplates him inwardly, a reflection and an image that lacks bits missing and bits missing, it would have fallen down. Therefore, she came to exist outside his fullness. It was not for herself that she desired this aspect of her that she established outside the perfection. She became distinct because she is an all-perfect instance of perfection, existing as contemplation. With respect to that one, she is an offspring that supplements him, even that which derives from his ineffable power. She has a prepotency, even the primal unengenderedness succeeding that one, because with respect to all the rest, she is a first aeon. Bits missing. All who are pure, because of the insubstantial existence, it is she who grants rest. It is she who knows and who foreknows herself, truly existing as a single aeon in act and potency and existence. It is not in time that she originated, but she appeared eternally, having eternally stood in his presence. She was overshadowed by the majesty of his goodness. She stood looking at him and rejoicing, being filled with kindness. She did not become separate. But when she was filled, bits missing, of the glories, and she is an insubstantial existence and a power that truly exists. She is the first insubstantial existence after that one, and from the undivided one toward existence, in act, move the intellectual perfection and intellectual life that were blessedness and divinity. The entire spirit, perfect, simple and invisible, has become a unity in existence and act, even a simple triple-powered one, an invisible spirit, an image of the one that truly exists. The one, bits missing. It is impossible to comprehend true existence, since it is her source, while she is an image. She began to strive, since it was impossible to unite with his image. She saw its privation, while it was next to his all perfection, since he pre-exists and is situated over all these pre-existing, being known as the three-powered, the invisible spirit, has never been incognizant. He did not merely make an act of knowing, but was instead abiding in perfection and blessedness. Now, when she became incognizant, bits missing, and she, bits missing, body after, bits missing, in another way, bits missing, enlighten, bits missing, she was existing individually as cause of the declination, lest she come forth any more or get further away from perfection. She knew herself and him, and she stood at rest and spread forth on his behalf, since she was from true existence. She was from what truly exists, in common with all things, to know herself and the one that pre-exist. The emergence of Calyptos. Having supplemented him, they came into existence. They came into existence, and they are manifest through those who pre-exist, and, bits missing, through the, bits missing, since they had appeared as a second mentality, and they appeared through the one who foreknows him, being an eternal space, having become a secondary form of his knowledge. even the duplication of his knowledge, the unengendered Calyptos, and the truly existent ones also stood at rest upon Calyptos, for she accordingly knew him in order that those following her might come into being, having a place, and that those that come forth might not precede her, but might become holy and simple. She is the introspection of the God who pre-exist. She spread forth, bits missing, to the simple, bits missing, salvation, bits missing, salvation, more bits missing, and he, bits missing, the light that is foreknown. She was called Barbello by virtue of thought, the perfect virginal male of three kinds, and it is her own knowledge through which she originated, lest she be drawn down and come forth further by the things that exist in her and that follow her. Rather, she is simple in order that she might be able to know the God who pre-exist, since she became better than those when she revealed her product without engenderment, and she became a third aeon. There are two differences in form among aeons, and they differ in this way. On the one hand, she is a first aeon with the second, unengendered, nature, a second image. She stood at rest as the first instance of that which truly exists. In another way, she is truly the blessedness of the invisible spirit, the knowledge of the primal existence within the simplicity of the invisible spirit within the hammadi, resembles within the unity that which is pure and shapeless. Bits missing. More bits missing. And the mentality and the perfection acted upon it, and it came to rest. The first divine Calyptos, all of them, existence and activity, divinity, kind and species, and the powers are a unity. Now, how is he a unity? That is not as particular thing, but as a whole. What is the unity that is their hammadi? Bits missing. Existence. Calyptos praises her source. A perception of the truth of that all perfect one said, by way of praise. You are great, Aphrodon. You are perfect, Nephrodon. You are great, Dionysius. She is his activity and life and divinity. You are great, Hammadi, the all-glorious one, Aeneas, his blessedness and the perfection of the unity. All of that which belongs to a single one is unified. Bits missing. Eternal. Bits missing. Intellectual. Bits missing. Perfect. The virginal barbello. Through the simplicity of the blessedness of the triple-powered invisible spirit. She who has known that one has known herself, and that one being everywhere, one being undivided, brought her to himself, so that she might know herself as his activity. He who does not know himself is one who is known while existing with another one. Bits missing. Ecstatic doxology to Barbello. Bits missing. I bless you. Bits missing. O be Rithius Erigano Oromenios Aramen Alphelagus Elio Euphaeus Lalamius Noatheus. Your name is great and strong. He who knows you knows everything. You are one. You are one. Sias Erion Aphrodon. You are the Aeon of the Aeons, of the perfect great one, the first Calyptos of the third activity. The revelation of the luminaries of the Barbello Aeon, Part 2. The contents of the Calyptos Aeon. The Calyptos Aeon, bits missing, and angels, diamonds, minds, souls, living creatures, trees and bodies, and those prior to them. Those of the simple elements of simple principles, and those that are in mixture, and those that are unmixed. Air and water, earth and number, pairing and motion, limitation and order, and breath, and all the rest. There are fourth powers that are in the fourth aeon. Those that are in the totalities and perfections of all these, the powers of powers, wholes of wholes, genera of the genera, angels of the angels, souls of the souls, living animals of the living animals, trees of the trees, bodies of the bodies, and, bits missing, his own. There are those that are as if generated, and those that are in an unengendered generation. And there are those that are holy and eternal, those that are changeless within change, and incorruption within incorruptibility. And there are those that exist as wholes. There are those that are generic, and those that inhabit an order and a rank. There are those in incorruptibility, and there are the primary ones that stand at rest, with the secondary ones among them all those that derive from them, and those that exist among them, and from these that follow them, and from them, bits missing, these, bits missing. And they stood at rest upon the fourth aeon, bits missing, they dwell, bits missing, they dwell, bits missing, the whole, bits missing, in them, since it is scattered abroad, they do not conflict with one another, but they too are alive among themselves. They exist and agree with one another, as those who derive from a single principle. They dwell united because they all inhabit a single aeon of Calyptos, although they become distinct in capability. For aeon by aeon they abide, standing at rest as they ought. But Calyptos is a single aeon. It contains 4 different aeons. Each of the aeons has capabilities, not like first and seconds, for they are all eternal, and they differ merely in rank and glory. And the others that are within the 4th aeon, and in the aeons that pre-exist it, are divine. Bits missing, they are. Bits missing, all of them exist in unity, unified and individually, perfected in fellowship, and filled with the aeon that truly exist. There are those among them that have come to stand as if they exist essentially, and there are those that are actively or passively quasi-essential. They exist secondarily, for it is the unengenderedness of the truly existed unengendered entities that indwells them. When the unengendered ones have come into being, their power stands at rest. There is there an incorporeal essence with an imperishable body. In that place, there is the truly existent, immutable one, even that which changes with change. With all of them stands the unconsuming and indestructible fire. The ideal cosmos of the Calyptos aeon and the modes of non-being. And, bits missing, he stands. It is there that all living creatures are, existing individually. Although unified, the knowledge of the knowledge is there, as well as a basis for ignorance. Chaos is there, as well as a place for all of them. It being complete, while they are incomplete, true light is there, as well as enlightened darkness, together with that which truly is non-existent, that which is not truly existent, as well as the non-existent ones that are not at all. But he is the good, from which derives what is good and pleasant, even the God from whom derives the divine, as well as that which is beyond divine, that which is great. For there is nothing partial, there is no form together with the God of that one, and that which is superior to God, bits missing, all these, bits missing, guileless, bits missing, and genus. He has not commingled with anything, but he remains alone in himself, and rests himself within his limitless limit. He is the God of those that truly exist, a self-seer and God-revealer. Barbello praises herself and the invisible spirit, having empowered him who knows Barbello the Aeon, the knowledge of the invisible, triple-powered, perfect spirit, glorified herself as she said, he is alive with life. I am alive in unity. You, O unity, are alive. He is alive, he who is three. You are the triad who is thrice replicated. They are the first 7 vowels, the third 7, and the second 7 are bits missing, and this has 4 bits missing, knowledge, bits missing, part, what mind, what wisdom, what knowledge, what doctrine. The 4 luminaries of the Calyptos Aeon. His luminaries are given names. The first is Aphrodon, and his consort is Ame. The second is Diphanius, and his consort is Diphania. The third is Macedon, and his consort is name missing. The fourth is Solymus, and his consort is Olymus. And there is Calyptos, having joined with his idea, and he is invisible to all these, so that they all might be empowered by him, since he is a god dwelling in the all-perfect Aeon. There are fourths that dwell beside Calyptos, and the first and the fourths are in a union proper to him alone and Barbello. He is next after her, since she is their totality. The first luminary, bits missing, he who knows him, and the one who is placed second. Now the first of the Aeons is Hammadi, the paternal glory. The second luminary is one that does know him, but all the individuals are a wisdom of him, who reside in the 4th Aeon, which has revealed him and all the glories. The third luminary is one who does not see him, being the rational expression of all the forms, as well as the glory. He is the understanding that is In the third aeon, 4 inhabit him, Chalcedon and Menelaus. The fourth luminary is the one who sees him, he of all the forms that are unified, dwelling in an instruction and glory and truth of the 4 aeons. Olmis, bits missing, and the bits missing. The fifth. The first, that is the second, is the all-perfect Calyptos. For there are the 4 luminaries. It is Calyptos who has divided again. They are unified, and these knowers are all those that are glories. All of them are perfect. It is he that knows everything about them all, since he is all perfect. From him in every power, and every one is with its entire aeon. It is to him and from him that they all come. The power of them all, the principle of them all. When he knows himself, he becomes a second aeon, and a second unengenderedness. They have other aeons within them, bits missing. If he becomes a barbello, he becomes a first aeon, because of the eternity of the invisible spirit, since Calyptos is the second unengenderedness. The glories of the Calyptos aeon. These are all the glories, the limitless Aphrodons, the ineffable,s the revealers, the immutables, all the bits missing, the glory revealers, the pairwise manifested Macedons, the limitless Solomisuses, the self-revealers, those who are full of glory, those who attend the glories, the blessers, the Chalcedons, the hidden ones that are manifest, the limits that exceed the limits, and the thoughts that are above the thoughts. And he establishes them upon, bits missing, having 10,000 glories in them. Therefore it is a complete glory, so that whenever it can harness and control, it may become complete. Thus, even if it enters a body and a material transformation, they do not receive greater honour for their all perfection, which is from him. All these and their associates are perfect. So to each aeon has 10,000 aeons in itself, so that it may collectively become a complete aeon, and each dwells in the blessedness of the perfect, invisible, triple-powered spirit, in the presence of the silence of the God, who is foreknown, even the knowledge. Bits missing. The Protophanes aeon as the image of Calyptos. Bits missing. A silence of the second knowledge, the first thought within an agreement of the triple-powered one, since he commanded her to know him, so that he might become all perfect, and he is inherently perfect. It is by simplicity and blessedness that he is recognised. He received goodness through that successor of the Barbelo Aeon, who grants him being. It was not the power of the former, but of the latter. The aeons that truly exist abide silently. Existence was inactivity, and the knowledge of the self-established Calyptos was ineffable. Having come from the fourth, the four of his thought, the Protophanus, the great perfect male mind, bits missing, Armadon, bits missing. He is his image, equal to him in glory and power, superior to him in rank, though not in aeonic level. Like him, he possesses them all, alive, dwelling together in unity, with the aeon within the aeons. He shares a fourfold difference with all the rest that are there. And Calyptos truly exists, and with him is located the all-glorious one, Uel, the male virginal glory, through whom are seen all the all-perfect ones. Those that stand before him are the three: the divine child, the triple male, and the divine self-generated one. He possesses three within one, which makes four. The one who also dominates the bits missing, dwelling upon bits missing 10,000-fold. The four aeons of the Protophanus Aeon. The first aeon inhabiting him is bits missing, from whom comes the first luminary, Solomus, and the God Revealer, infinite, according to the pattern in the Calyptos and Doximedon aeons. The second aeon is Acrimon, the ineffable, containing the second luminary, Zakathos and Yakathos. The third aeon is Ambrosios, the virgin, containing the third luminary, Cepheus and Antiphantes. The fourth aeon is the triple-gendered blesser, containing the fourth luminary, Seldau and Elenos. He is dominated by the perfect mind, Protophanus, Armadon, bits missing. Zo, zioe, zioe, zosi, zosi, zao, zio, zizen, zizen. The individuals and the four who are eightfold are alive. It is you who are before them, you who are in them all. They are within the perfect male, Armadon, Protophanus, the actuality of all these dwelling together. The aeon of the self-generated one and its four sub-aeons. Since all the individuals were existing as perfect ones, the activity of all the individuals appeared again. As for the divine self-generated one, he stands within an aeon containing four different self-generated aeons. The first aeon in him of the first luminary is Amazel, Orinos, Utherinos, also called bits missing, The second aeon is the second luminary, is Oriel. Yodios, Ap, bits missing, Arasiel. The third aeon of the third luminary is Davathief, Loranius, Epiphanios, Ilios. The fourth aeon of the fourth luminary is Eliath, Kodere, Ephianios, Allogenios. Conclusion: those that reside in matter. Now all the others that reside in matter were all persistent. It was because of their knowledge of majesty, their audacity and power, that they came into existence and adorned themselves, because they did not know God. They shall pass away. Behold, Zostrianos, you have heard all these things, of which the gods are ignorant, and that are undefined for angels. Zostrianos' response to the luminary's revelation. As for me, I became bold and said, I am still wondering about the triple-powered, invisible perfect spirit, how it exists for itself, even the cause, for them all, and of those that truly exist. Bits missing. What is the place of that one, and of what sort it is? And after I said these things, I was greatly glorified, and they set me down and departed. Apopantes and Aphrophius, the virgin light, came before me and brought me to Protophanus, the great male perfect mind. There I saw all of them, as they dwell in unity. I united with them all and blessed the Calyptos Aeon, the virginal Barbello, and the invisible spirit. I became all perfect and was empowered. I was inscribed in glory and sealed. There I received a perfect crown. Zostrianos' descent from the Aeons and recording of the revelation. I came forth to the perfect individuals. All of them were questioning me, listening to the majesty of the knowledge, rejoicing and receiving power. When I again came down to the self-generated aeons, I received a true image, pure, worthy of perception. I came down to the aeonic copies, and came down thence to the atmospheric realm. I wrote 3 wooden tablets, and left them as knowledge for those who would come after me, the living elect. Then I came down to the perceptible world and put on my image. Because it was uninstructed, I empowered it and went about preaching the truth to everyone. Neither the angelic beings of the world nor the archons saw me, for I nullified a multitude of disgraces that brought me near death. Zostrianos issues the call to awakening. But an errant multitude I awakened, saying, Understand, you who are alive, the holy seed of Seth. Do not be disobedient to me. Awaken your divine part as divine, and empower your sinless elect soul. Mark the passing of this world, and seek immutable unengenderedness. The Father of all these invites you as he awaits you. And even when you are ill-treated, he will not abandon you. Do not baptize yourselves with death, nor entrust yourselves to things inferior to you as if to superior things. Flee the madness and the bondage of femininity, and choose for yourselves the salvation of masculinity. You have not come to suffer. Rather, you have come to escape your bondage. Release yourselves, and that which has bound you will be nullified. Save yourselves, so that one may be saved. The kind Father has sent you the Saviour and empowered you. Why do you hesitate? Seek when you are sought. When you are invited, listen, for the time is short. Do not be led astray. Great is the aeon of the aeons of the living ones, and the punishment of those who are unconceived. Many bonds and chastisers surround you. Flee quickly before distraction reaches you. Behold the light, flee the darkness. May you not be led astray to destruction. Title and colophon: Zostrianos. Words of truth of Zostrianos, God of truth. Words of Zoroaster. And so ends Zostrianos.